help you.
Sweet, sweet, appreciate it.
I don't hang a right. You want to text me, right?
Cool. Yeah. How long have you had this place?
I just built it from scratch. I had TS Records. I came from LA and I moved here and I started a Latin label, which I know nothing about.
Sick.
Music, and it took off. And
that's awesome.
I had a Russ Burger room on 410 and I just designed this on a paper one day, found the land and said, I'm just gonna build my own room. We just did it on a napkin and I just went over to my friend and started yelling, you can't build a napkin.
Of course they'll say that. The teaching stuff, are you entering the YouTube space at all, or is it more like?
We're not yet. We're just four.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the owner and the done it. We're all just busy as we just can't get
it's a lot.
Shit together.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can never like outdo the, you know, like hand-to-hand human interaction thing. Like that'll never go away. But I'm like really fascinated with like the YouTube. You know, I'm kind of doing the YouTube thing more as like free content to sort of promote like what I'm doing here. Film the whole thing, you can watch them on YouTube and learn blah, 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 but like you're not gonna experience it like when you come.
And people see your videos and they'll want to go because they want the intimacy of saying right in front of it, where the quality's good, they can hear it on the speakers, what's going on, you're talking to them.
Yeah, and it's funny because they come to this thing and they think it's, okay, I get to come here and like play my music for like me and all that. But then by the end of the night, they realize that the reason why they've come and the real value is to meet other people and meet their peers.
That's so true. Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's kind of like the message I've been pushing is like,
quick networking social.
Yo, you have to do it. That's how we came up. Like we were just fucking around with our friends. You know?
You gotta be with people.
Yeah. Yeah, dongle. It's a dongle. Dongle. A dongle. Is it really called a dongle, huh? Literally what you're doing now is like what you should be doing right now. I mean, I know you're like just getting back into it, but the best thing you can do is just make as many beats as possible. Because like I always say, like every beat is like a lottery ticket, potential to generate income at some point. So you just, the more you make, the better, right? So push yourself, you know, like if you're doing 6 to 10, try to push to like make it a hard 10 or maybe even 15 one week, you know what I mean? Like really just like always try to like elevate up.
It's great to be able to figure everything out on my own.
Have you released any music independently, like as like post the new launch, new you thing? How much music, how many songs have you made, would you say?
I'd say a dozen.
Okay,
yeah.
So it's very new, it's very fresh. Yeah. I mean, you're creating art, you're making music that's like super honest to what you represent. I like that you're getting like inspiration like from your kids and just from, you know, just life, you know, so it's very honest music. And there's always a place for, I mean, I wish all music was honest, but you know, there's a place for stuff like this, you know, and I think, you know, 12 songs in is like not that many. And so what I would do really is, what I would focus on is just the music first. You want to have like 30 songs like this about the same thing, just like done in different ways. You know what I mean? And just really cranking them out, and then from there, you know, you obviously you get better, your mixes will be better, stuff like that. Maybe at that point, you know, who knows, maybe even after tonight, start collaborating with more people again, or really start like branding the music and branding yourself. Me personally?
Yeah. Do you sell? Do you try to hold on to ownership? Do they allow it?
Basically, well, with my situation, I have a publishing deal with Cobalt, and the deal I signed with them is a term deal. So, and it was a term deal with full ownership, so I own 100% of my work. They take a little percentage off the top when they collect. So I'm super happy about that deal. It's a relatively like new model for publishers. The old model of publishing companies was the MDRC deal, which is basically like a shitty deal that just like puts you in the hole and keeps you tied to them forever. But in terms of ownership, like all of us in here, I think the goal is to maintain ownership of our work, because if you produce a certain amount of music and it's generating value over time, you want your kids to continue to collect off that work. It's like owning a home as opposed to renting a home, kind of in a way. And so if you give up ownership of your publishing, you're giving up the rights to the longevity of your music and you can no longer really earn off of it.
Okay, you made a beat, Kanye picked it up, so like ownership, spreadsheet,
Yep.
getting what percentage,
Splits.
how does that look?
I might fuck you guys' head up because I don't think you know how it really works. Anytime a song is created, think of it as like a 100% pie, right? Let's say, Brittany, let's say you do a song with, who's your favorite artist? Just like
Let's just say Kanye.
Kanye? Okay, so you did a song with Kanye. Let's say you produced it and there's no samples, you composed everything. Let's say Rihanna's on the hook, right? That's exciting, right? So Rihanna's on the, it's Kanye, it's Britney featuring Kanye West and Rihanna. So by default, the pie is split into two parts. By default, you have the publishing side of it and you have the writing side of it, right? And so this is where it gets a little confusing, so let me break it down. So 50% publishing, 50% writing. So by default, the writing portion is also split into two parts. You have the writer performer, and then you have the writer composer. The vocalist on the track, those are all the songwriters, anything that has to do with lyrics, performance, voice, that's on the writer performer side. So in this case, that would be Kanye and Rihanna. So let's say Kanye and Rihanna, even though Rihanna is only on the hook, let's say they agreed to split their portion in half. Kanye and Rihanna are splitting that in half. So that would be 12.5, 12.5, which is the full 25% of the writer performer, right? So then let's look at the other part of the writing portion, which is the writer composer. So the writer composer is the producer. That's the producer of the track, the musicians, if they get publishing, anyone that is involved with the creation of the actual music. And so because you're the only producer on it, with no co-producers, no samples, you get 100% of the writer composer portion, which is 25%. So now if we look at the publishing portion is an exact duplicate of what you have on the writing portion. Because you walked away with 25%, the full percent of the writer composer portion, you also get the full portion of the publishing, which is 25%, right? That's all to you. And then Rihanna and Kanye, 12.5, 12.5, they also get 12.5 of the rest of the publishing, and then 12.5 of the rest of the publishing, which makes up the entire 50%. So all in all, you walk away with 50% of the song, which is in reality 25% of the writer and 25% of the publishing portion. And then Kanye and Rihanna get 25 of the whole pie. So when you sign a publishing deal with someone, let's say you sign a publishing deal with Universal, right? One of the major publishing companies. They sign people that have big catalogs. Someone like yourself, if you have that song, if that was a real song, they would totally like do a deal with you just based off of that one song, because they know how much that'll eventually generate. So one example of a publishing deal that Universal might offer you, they might say, okay, Brittany, we see you have this huge song coming out, it's your first placement. We want to sign you to a 5-song MDRC deal, and we're gonna do the deal at $1 million. It's a $1 million deal. You get half up front. So $500,000 up front upon signing. While you continue to fulfill those 5 songs, they're gonna release more money to you. And then on that 5th song, they'll release $100,000 to you, and then you're out the deal. So a few things happen here, and this is where a lot of people fuck up, right? Because they don't have good lawyers. The first thing that's gonna happen with that $500K is let's say you hired an attorney that's working on spec and they want 5%, which is very common. So 5% of that $500K is gonna go to your attorney, which is what, I'm Asian, but I'm not really good at math, so I should be.
25,000?
Is that's it? 25,000. Told you I'm terrible. Okay, let's say you had a manager. There's most likely gonna be a middleman here that's taking a percentage. Let's say they get 20%. So the manager will take 20%, which is $100,000 to your attorney. So you're immediately out $125,000. So you're down to $375,000. So now you got to pay taxes, which most people don't do because they don't know about it. So half of that's gone. So let's just say for shits and giggles, 50% of it is gone, right? So half of 375, you're down to 185. We're looking at the 5-song deal, right? So you signed a 5-song MDRC, right? So what they didn't tell you is that in order to fulfill 5 songs, you have to fulfill 100% publishing of 1 song. Because you walked away with 25% of the publishing, you've just fulfilled 25% of 100% of 1 song. So you have 4 more to go at 25% to be 1 song fulfillment. There's 3 things that a producer can do to start generating some short-term income. The first thing would be to lease and sell beats. I would actually stick to leasing, because you can lease 1 beat for $50 an unlimited amount of times. So leasing beats would be the first thing, and that would happen on YouTube, BeatStars, or your own website, or
to BeatStars, like
yeah.
this group I'm a part of have like a little free trial on that, so I've been working on getting just
Love it.
sounds right, and then I'm gonna start going that way. Also,
So aside from that, you know, leasing tracks, people are making, you know, thousands of dollars a month. You know, I know some people are making 15, 20, 30. Yeah, because what happens is you have a beat up there and you have it up for $100 lease. That's super affordable for a rapper. But then you're leasing that beat, you know, 50 times over. That beat can make you 5 racks in a month. When you're licensing to like TV shows and stuff, it's about building a relationship with the music supervisors, which is pretty tough. Or you can go through like a Jingle Punks or like a third-party company that collects a bunch of beats and then they shop them out to different, you know, networks like MTV and stuff like that. They have relationships, so they purchase in bulk and all that stuff. I know guys that make a lot of money doing that. Selling and leasing your beats for usage to YouTube influencers. Them to, you know, I'll give it to you for free, but as long as you just link back to my YouTube page or link back to my Instagram or just something. Not even including drum kits. That's the second income stream. Sample packs, drum kits, all that stuff. Very, very lucrative.
Yeah.
So again, it's a very clear goal. How can I monetize the thing I love to make more money than doing the day job that I don't really love? And it's very doable, you know, like, but really be clear on it. That's the beauty of what we do, guys. Like, the music industry is just people. Even the people at the labels, they're people. You know, there's a person that cuts the check. There's a person that, you know, when you sign a publishing deal, you're signing to a bunch of people. Like when we make music, we make it with other people. So it's a people industry, you know? So yeah, you're right. I mean, taking what you love and learn from your job, transition that into the thing, you know? But I think the smart thing to do would be to, how can I monetize right now? At least for the next 6 to 12 months. And then after leasing for 12 months, and if I generate 60 grand in 1 year after taxes from leasing beats, then from there you have the freedom to now focus on the real passion, which might be placements or developing artists.
Get your shit together. We ain't depending on weather, but rain, my nigga. The wind in the building. You see, I grew up on the side of the city with my white friends, parents said they couldn't come. And I'm living on the side of a city, and my kids know exactly where we come from. And I'ma let you in on something. The handcrafted that silver spoon, so remain in tune about what's in the spoon. So when you die, they can't read it.